Hey, and welcome to Fun Swedish and our YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about pronunciation and these scary Swedish vowels. Oh my god. So far, we have done 5 videos about the Swedish vowels. We have done the back vowels, A, O, U, Å, which are the back vowels because the sound comes from the back of our mouth. Then we have also done one of the front vowels, which is E. And today we're going to continue with the front vowels. We're going to talk about E. More about this E soon. But the front vowels in Swedish are E, I, Y, A, Ö. But before we talk about E, this front vowel, this scary front vowel, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our other videos we can make about the pronunciation and about the Swedish language. So today's vowel is E, this little nasal sound we make sometimes. E. E can be both a letter and a vowel, E, but it can also be a word because E in Swedish means in. For example, if I say jag bor I Sverige, I live in Sweden. So E can be a letter and a word. And when it's a word, it's actually the most common word in Swedish. E is the vowel that can fool you because it looks just like the E in English or any other language. But it's not the same vowel. Just listen to how it sounds. E, so nasal. The E in English doesn't sound like that, for example. So even if it looks like an English vowel or English letter, it's not the same. E, not the same. So how do you say this E? Because it's really tricky because it doesn't exist in any other language, at least not what I know. So the E in Swedish, to say it right, it's kind of like you're saying the English E, but a little bit more nasal. So it's like you're doing E, kind of like that. It can also help you to think that you should not smile as much as you do, for example, when you say E. E in Swedish goes more like this. E, E. But when you say this E, it's like you become a little bit more lazy. So instead of saying E, you say more like E. So you go from E to E, E. You get more lazy. So remember, you get more lazy, so you don't show the teeth as much as you do when E, and it's also like you're doing a little bit like this. E, E, E. It's also front vowel, so the sound kind of comes from the front. And I kind of put that tongue somewhere somewhere there. E, E, E. Yeah, we're going to practice this a lot during this video, so don't worry about it. E. However, this E is how we pronounce the E in its long version and also in the alphabet. If you remember, all the vowels in Swedish have a long version and a short version. When it's a long version, it's normally when you have just one consonant coming after the vowel. Normally, there's always some exceptions, but normally this is the rule. And when you hear a shorter version of the vowel, in this case it would be like I, then it's because we have more than one vowel coming after, perhaps 2 or even more. So this is a good and important rule. How long you should do the vowel, how nasal, depends on how many consonants come after. So, a very important thing to remember when you learn this vowel is that it has a long version E and a short version I. So, E or I. But what most people struggle with is the long version, E. So that's why we're going to focus a lot on that one. E. Many people react to this E, especially the long version, because it sounds so nasal, especially if you come from Stockholm. There's one place in Stockholm called Lidingö, which is famous for being quite posh, Lidingö. And also the word in itself has this really long nasal E in it. So a lot of people, when they're referring to this area, they sometimes say E, exaggerate a little bit because that's a little bit how people talk on this island, for example. I used to live there actually, but I didn't talk so much nasal. But since I'm from Stockholm, I still do a little bit nasal, more nasal than other cities. So anyway, you're gonna hear people say Lidingö, Lidingö, extra nasal. And it's also a joke, like people say, oh, på Lidingö säger fåglarna pip, pip. which basically means that the birds on this island, Lidingö, they don't say peep peep, they say peep, peep, which is a posh way of birds talking, I guess. Or another example is that they sometimes say en fin bil på Lidingö. En fin bil på Lidingö. You hear so many nasal sounds here, and that is because we're just one consonant coming after the E. You will also need this long version, the nasal version of the E, if you say the word fika. And if you don't know it already, fika is a very, very important word in Swedish and also a very important thing to do. It means to have a coffee, especially with something sweet to eat, with a friend. It's a kind of a social thing. You have coffee with friends and eat at the same time and talk at the same time. So if you want to say, I want to have a fika, then you need to say, jag vill ha en fika. Fika. Jag vill ha en fika. I want to have a coffee with a friend or a colleague and socialize at the same time. So, fika, very long E in this word. And it's really important to do it very long because we also have another word, ficka. Ficka means instead pocket. So if you say jag vill ha en ficka instead of jag vill ha en fika, then you're saying I want to have a pocket instead of saying I want to have a coffee break with a friend. So very, very important. Listen very carefully to these words. Fika, just one consonant coming after the E. So that's why it's very long. And this other word we have ficka, very short E because we have two consonants, CK coming after the E. Fika, ficka, fika, ficka. So important. Jag vill ha en fika. I want to have a coffee break with a friend. Let's look at some other words with this long version of the E. Fin, which means nice or good or beautiful, depends a little bit on the context. But if I said, for example, en fin bil på Lidingö, then I was saying like a nice or pretty car in Lidingö. Fin. Bil, car. Favorit. Here, this word actually looks really like English, but we don't pronounce it the English way. We pronounce it the Swedish way, which means very, very long vowels, especially if just one consonant coming after. So here we say favorit, favorit, favorit. So very long nasal E, favorit. Then we have the word we, for two people or more people. We, and ni. You guys or you girls, ni, ni, very long E, E. This also happens normally if there's nothing after the E. So then it also normally becomes quite long. Let's also look at some words where the E sounds very short. So less nasal now, so you can relax now. We have, for example, the word inte. Inte means not. Inte. For example, jag kan inte svenska. I can't speak Swedish, but hopefully you won't be able to use that expression so much in the future if you look at these videos. But here the inte is very short, inte, because we have two consonants coming after. Another word with a very short E is flicka. Flicka is how we say girl in Swedish. And this one is actually similar to ficka, but we have an L instead. So that's why it's flicka. And the E is also short because we have two consonants coming after the E. Flicka, girl. Then we have, for example, sit, sit. If you want to tell your dog to sit down, sit. Double consonant coming after the E, so also here it sounds very short. Sit. And then we have the word vill. Vill is how we say want. And here the E is very short because we have two L, two consonants coming after. Vill. And this is very useful when you want to say, do you want to have a coffee or fika? Actually, we can use this sentence and listen to two different variations of the E. One short in vill and one long in fika. Vill du ha en fika? Vill du ha en fika? Vill du ha en fika? Do you want to have a fika? And to this you need to answer ja, because you never say no to a fika in Sweden. Ja, ja tack. And let's make a whole dialogue of this. Vill du ha en fika? Ja, fika är bäst. Precis. So basically I said, do you want to have a fika? Yes, fika is the best. Exactly. And exactly is precis in Swedish. Very long E. Bra! Bra jobbat! Okay, we finished. So that was it about this video. Hope you liked it, and if you did, put a like, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our videos. We're gonna make about the vowels and about Swedish and about culture in Sweden. Så tack så jättemycket. Vi ses i nästa video. Basically I said see you in the next video. Vi ses i nästa video. Hej då!